For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world.
Tyranny is a game with its roots going as far back as the party-based RPG classics of the 90s. In fact, if you played the Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale classics, or even the more recent Pillars of Eternity, you're going to feel right at home. Tyranny doesn't try to reinvent the genre, staying firmly within established mechanics, while providing an interesting twist on the story and choice, arguably the most important aspects of an RPG. Taking the role of a Fatebinder, the player character is a senior member of a conquering force, closing in on total domination. Playing a major role in crushing the last vestige of the resistance, innocent and guilty will live and die by your command. And being bad has rarely been so good. As you'd expect, you start with extensive character customization options, as well as the character history that can affect some dialogue throughout the game. From here, you're given the option of playing the Conquest, a series of decisions that will create the state of the game world and the reaction of many characters and factions to you individually. Playing through it felt like reading the history of a sweeping fantasy novel, and while you can choose to skip it, I strongly recommend going through it. Right from the outset, the replayability is obvious, even from this short prelude to the game proper, as you're faced with choices that have far-ranging consequences. The world building throughout the game is simply astonishing. I found myself engrossed by the history of the world and the characters within it, reading text and following all possible dialogue options, and there are a lot of them. While in the early parts I did struggle to understand my role, once events start to unfold, you quickly see the power your decisions have and how they can shape the entire world around you.
Ah, the fire starter has arrived. Welcome, welcome. Our agents tell us such lovely stories of what you did at the Vellum Citadel.
As with all RPGs of this type, the game is heavily story focused and we don't want to spoil it for you, so I'll speak in very general terms. You'll choose between factions to support, but fantastically you're not locked into one for the entire game. In fact, the different paths you can walk are incredibly varied and surprisingly fluid. The characters in your party, as you would expect, will react to your decisions and let you know exactly what they think of them, and indeed you, as will all the NPCs of various factions, but never did I feel I couldn't win someone over, or stab someone in the back.
Since being sensible and abandoning the scars aren't options, might I suggest drawing our blades?
The reputation system has some nice twists and works well. Normally in an RPG with reputation rewards, you are forced to be good or bad, respectful or aggressive. In Tyranny, both are rewarded, as both Favour and Wrath provide rewards with factions and party members. These rewards come in the form of combat abilities, often amongst the most powerful you'll get in the game. These abilities even extend to the most powerful weapons in the game, giving you and your party additional effects on use. These can be stunning to behold, as can the team-based moves. All characters have the ability to work in conjunction with the player character, and the two of you teaming up to create incredible healing effects, huge party buffs, or massive attacks is a sight to behold. They're well balanced by having significant cooldowns, either usable once per encounter or once per rest. They're fun to watch and can have a huge effect on the tide of battle. This does, however, lead me to a mechanic of the game I particularly dislike: rest. If a character is downed or wounded, they will have reduced abilities until they have rested, and as previously mentioned, some abilities have cooldowns that will only reset during rest. Rest is available at certain locations around the world, or with consumables. It's a mechanic that brings nothing to the game, and is honestly just an annoyance. It is, however, the only mechanic that feels out of place. Combat works as you would expect, a system that has been well refined over the years. You can choose to micromanage, pausing the game to issue commands individually to each character, or let the AI take care of the entire party for you, although this is probably not advisable against the tougher foes. If you do take direct control, the breadth of options is excellent. There's the aforementioned special combat options through Reputation's teamwork and weapons, as well as quick weapon swaps and consumables. This is on top of the abilities that are already laid out before you. If you play through on an easy setting, you can choose to ignore most of these. However, on the harder settings, the excellent UI will make them easy to access as you need.
I got it.
The difficulty settings are worth a special mention too. There are 4 difficulty settings as well as some special options to go on top, such as the I am play. This entails 1 save spot available for your playthrough, which will be deleted on death. That's a heartbreak that this reviewer is happy to pass on, but it is a great option to have. There are some spectacular and varied environments throughout the game, but the music is particularly special. On more than one occasion, I found myself lost in it, my character standing still as I appreciated it in wonder. It truly is stunning. There is one aspect of the audio that I found irksome, and it's that not all characters are voiced. I can certainly understand that, but it's a massive disconnect when a conversation is taking place, some parts voiced and others text only. It would have been better to have no voice in these parts, rather than disjointed conversations that occasionally appear.
Iron Marshal, I understand we've established a foothold across the Matani. Report.
The characters that join your party are often what makes an RPG like this, and Tyranny is no exception. I'm often faced with the dilemma of the best team makeup or the characters that I like the most. Again, we're going to stay spoiler free, but I can tell you now, Verse is in my party every time. Potty mouth and all.
I'll tear your skeleton out by your ass! That's how it's fucking done!
The more of Tyranny I played, the more I fell in love with it. It maintains the excellent established game mechanics of the genre while telling a new story and telling it extremely well. The scope of the game expands ever outwards, and I truly felt powerful and in control of my destiny, and the destiny of the world I was in. Add to that the excellent world building, the fantastic characters. If you like old school RPGs, there is no doubt Tyranny is for you.